Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Delhi Township Board of Trustees meeting for April 13th, 2016. Tonight's moment of silence is dedicated to a longtime member of the Delhi community, Mr. Nick Lascalia. Nick was a Delhi trustee for 24 years, from 1980 to 2003. During that time, Trustee Lascalia was instrumental in building both the Neeb Road and the Rapid Run firehouses. He also had a real passion for the Delhi parks and was strongly in favor of moving from a park board to a Delhi Township Parks Department. What's interesting is he also had a vision 30 years ago of purchasing the property on Cleves Warsaw, which finally came to be this past year. So I checked with past trustees and fiscal officers who served with Nick, and they all commented about his one pet peeve. So the next time you go down a road in Delhi and you see a homemade sign or any sign that's been stapled or nailed to a telephone pole, remember Trustee Lascalia, because that was his number one pet peeve. But they all agreed he was a very grateful and thankful man. Trustee Lascalia is survived by his wife, 4 children, 10 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. So, on behalf of a very grateful Delhi community, thank you, Trustee Lascalia, for your service. And now a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Motions for consideration, Mr. Luby.
Motion 2016-55, approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting held on March 30th, 2016, and dispense with the reading.
I've moved motion 2016-055 to approve the minutes on March 30th, 2016.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-56, approve bills for payment.
I've moved motion 2016-056 to approve bills for payment.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion 2016-57, approve the payment of overtime for pay period ending March 29th, 2016.
I move motion 2016-057 to approve the payment of overtime.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-58, approve the hiring of David K. Hall as a seasonal part-time park service worker at $8.81 per hour, effective after April 13th, 2016.
I move motion 2016-058 to approve the hiring of David K. Hall.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-59, approve the hiring of Dylan P. Morrison as a seasonal part-time public works maintenance worker at $11.75 per hour, effective April 18th, 2016.
I move motion 2016-059 to approve the hiring of Dylan P. Morrison.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Motion 2016-60, approve the Parks and Recreation Department to submit grant applications to Kaboom Build It Yourself grant for $15,000 with required matching funds of $24,000. If grant is awarded, we'll utilize the $12,000 Civic Association donation and the $12,000 from Township funds for the Civic Association Playground Expansion Project.
I move motion 2016-060 to approve the Parks and Recreation Department to submit grant applications.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Presentations this evening. We have a very special presentation, which is the swearing in of our fiscal officer, Mr. Jim Luby. A lot of people don't realize, but the term for the fiscal officer is actually, it starts later, and there's a reason for that. You want that fiscal officer to finish all the fiscal reports due to the state before his term ends. So at this time, it's my honor to swear in Fiscal Officer James Luby. Pete, you want us down here? You want to raise your right hand? Okay. I, James J. Luby,
I, James J. Luby,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
in the duties of the office
of Delhi Township Fiscal Officer
of Delhi Township Fiscal Officer
to the best of my ability,
the
so
best-
help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, Fiscal Officer. Okay. Following that, we do have a presentation this evening also from the chairman of the Delhi Township Bicentennial Committee, Mr. P. Pritchard.
Good evening. Got another update here for this month here. I just want to share just briefly about this past Saturday, April 9th, which, as you can tell by the photos here, was a Delhi Heritage Hike at Bender Mountain. It was well attended, roughly by for about, say, 45 people, and of all ages. So we had kids and everybody, so it was kind of neat. Tim Sisson, who headed that up with the Western Wildlife Corridor, mentioned that he was really pleased with the number of people, and I do believe Mr. Torbeck was there. And I guess from what I understand, it was the weather was a little inclement in the beginning there. Just a little chilly and a little bit of something. So considering that, I think it was a success. So I was real happy to see that. Next thing I'd like to mention concerning the bicentennial is upcoming here, April 25th. Again, we're having the Family History Scanning Station, and this will be held at the Delhi Senior Center. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. That also, the scanning stations will be offered again May the 10th, Bailey Wellness and Fitness Center from 1 to 4 p.m. The next thing I'd like to mention with the bicentennial is May the 20th. That's going to be the Delhi Historical Society. They're going to be sponsoring the historic Ohio River Valley wine tasting. That'll be from 7 to 9 at the Delhi Lodge. You can learn about some of the winemaking in Delhi and taste wines from Henke Winery. They're going to come out and talk about a little bit about the history and so on, and everyone gets to have just a small little sample there, of course. And there will be a silent auction, of wines and split the pot. Cost is $20 per person, so that ought to be a neat event. I'd like to kind of see a good turnout for that. I'd also just like to mention just real briefly concerning the Delhi Cookbook. We are indeed still looking for recipes. We're hoping to accumulate 500 recipes for this. And again, they can people that want to submit that can do it online, GNR Publishing, or if they do not have access to the internet, they can drop that off at several places, one being Brosey Tours, 417 Anderson Ferry, or at the Delhi Senior Center on Neeb Road, Robin Florist, or here at the Administration Building. I'm sure all of you will be here waiting for that to happen. We really would like to see really an increase in that, and I was just thinking, I bet the fire chief here, Chief Campbell, I know he's likes to cook. Maybe he'll submit something for this cookbook. That's a lot of enthusiasm there, Chief.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention again, let's move up to the date, May 21st, again, the History Scanning Station. That's going to be held at the Delhi Public Library from 1 to 4 p.m. Next big event I'd like to mention, and this is a pretty big one, and I don't like to jump out too far ahead in the year, but I will. I do want to talk about this one, and this one's about the Dog Days of Delhi. This is going to be a pretty big event. That's going to take place Saturday, August the 27th. So the Delhi Business Association is sponsoring this, and they're going to hold their event again, like I said, at Delhi Park, and it's going to be at the lake, also at the old Tot Lot, and also in the lodge. So there's a lot of things going on that day, and I'll briefly explain this. The event will begin at 8 a.m. with a fishing tournament at the lake. and followed by many events on the old tot lot, including a contest for owners with their pets. So they're encouraging people to come, obviously, with their dogs. They're going to have the contest of best trick, the cutest dog, and one that looks most like its owner. So that one should be pretty interesting. They're really working hard on this, I know that, and I'm going to kind of partake in this event here myself. But they're also going to have a wiener dog race. You guys see that usually downtown during the Oktoberfest, I think, each year. So they want to call on people that have that particular breed of dog, and they want to have a wiener dog race. There will also be a famous hot dog eating contest. So that ought to be exciting. That'll be about around about 2 p.m. or so. There's also going to be, the Historical Society is working with the Business Association on conducting a old-time baseball game that'll be held on Field 1. So that's also going to take place. And also Matt Maley from the Historical Society will be in charge of conducting Frontier Days. There's going to be some stuff held up at the different activities at the lodge during the day, where you can bring your family, see just different traditions from the past out there at the lodge. And the day will end up with Oak Hills High School with their marching band, about around 5 p.m., followed by our hometown here, Mount St. Joe University Band. And finally, at 7:30 that evening, we'll have Howlin' Max. We'll play around till about 9:30 to round out the evening. So it's going to be a full day. We'll mention this more as time goes, but I did kind of just want to plant that seed and want people to kind of make plans for that on their calendar. So it'll be a big
Save the
day.
date.
Saturday, August 27th, Dog Days of Delhi.
Great.
So that's all I got to report.
Thanks, Pete.
All right.
Any questions?
Any
No
questions?
questions.
Nope. Very good. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Trustees correspondent, Trustee Oswald.
I want to congratulate Jim Herman. He is a professional golfer, won his first PGA event a couple weeks ago, the tournament before the Masters. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but he was leading going in the fourth round on national television. He gave an interview and said he was from Delhi Township, and he said Cincinnati, which was pretty neat. He won the tournament, very emotional, great guy. He went to Victory, then went to X for high school, and then UC for college. So he's born and raised here in Delhi. I had more people text me, go on Facebook, say, what are you guys doing for Jim Herman? What I would like to see is maybe pass a resolution naming it Jim Herman Day. Is the specific day we need to work on. Maybe we can tie it in somehow to the bicentennial. I know his mom would be ecstatic if we did that for Delhi. And he's actually going to do a golf tournament at Clover Nook on April 24th, where he's going to do a golf clinic for the UC golf players. So I'm going to be over there, and I'm going to talk to him and maybe figure out his schedule, when a good day would be for him. But I would like to see a day for Jim Herman Day in Delhi, because, I mean, for him to still be a Delhesian and announce that on national television, pretty special. So congratulations, Jim.
Absolutely, congratulations. Trustee Sturts.
Yes, we received an email from Chief Campbell about one of our firefighters. And please join me in congratulating Kevin Kramer for being awarded the first annual Blue Coat Award from the Delhi KFC chapter from St. Dominic. He was selected by the KFC from 4 nominees. The nominees must be an active member of the department in good standing, a resident of Delhi and or employee of Delhi Police or Delhi Fire Department, an active participant and volunteer outside of the department to local approved charities and nonprofits, and a demonstrated commitment to their faith. This award is a testament to what our community values and the impact service has on their lives. We all have opportunities to be active in the community. Unfortunately, only a handful that consistently make the effort to give back in a meaningful way. I challenge others to make a similar commitment to find ways to be a part of the Delhi community when you're not wearing the uniform. Terrific job and well-deserved. So thank you very much, Kevin, for representing us, and congratulations on your award.
Congratulations. I have 2 questions that came to me for trustee correspondence. The first one is question as to when we are actually going to start and break ground on the new fire station on Greenwell. And I think following today's mini meetings, it will probably be within the month. So look for May to have some type of an announcement as to the groundbreaking for the new station on Greenwell. The second question was, when does the Waffle House open? And that will also be in about 1 month. So May will be a very active time for us, but we're looking forward to both starting the new fire station as well as opening the Waffle House. Okay. Report from the fiscal officer, Mr. Luby.
The next Financial Advisory Board meeting will be Tuesday, April 19th, 2016, at 5:30 here in the admin building. That's all I have.
Okay. No need for public hearings this evening, but reports from departments. I do believe, Mr. Torbeck, you have something from Parks?
Thank you, trustees. I gave a presentation last meeting about the financial situation of the parks and the direction we're headed in the future. I just wanted to kind of follow up on that presentation, present some more facts and information for you. The first slide you'll see is about millage values.
Mr. Landrum. He really doesn't feel well.
I forgot the cue, sorry. The first one you'll see is what we talked about with status quo is basically not changing any of our operations, operating as is. And you can see the 5-year deficit is about $900,000 with an average about $180,000 a year. We discussed the recommended changes, which I'll discuss again on the next slide and kind of remind you of what we discussed about. But you'll see that increases to about $1,100,000 over 5 years and an average of about $220,000. The difference being about $211,000 over the 5 years, an average of about $42,000 per year. You'll see the value assumption is based, that value is 1 mil. So we're assuming the value of 1 mil is about $450,000. Based on that assumption, in order to meet the needs of the status quo where nothing changes operationally, we're looking at about a 0.40 millage. Now, we don't know that exact number until we get it from the auditor, so we did put a couple assumptions in there, increasing if the value is 460 or 430, so you'll see millages that represent that based on that value assumption. Underneath that, you'll see the same kind of chart, but this includes the recommended changes, which, like I said, I'll discuss on the next page, but you'll see the millage goes up based on that 1 mil equaling that value assumption. So when I talk about recommendations for moving in the future, what would be added? What would we do additionally in the park? We're talking about increased assistance to the Delhi seniors and helping to offset the facility cost. It enables the township to offer assistance if needed, to offer help with programming and activities at the senior center, and really help that center move towards the future. If there is anything we can do, this enables us to allow us to move forward with that. Increased activities and program and events at the park. What does this mean? More concerts, more movie nights, more events, more programming, fitness classes, recreational leagues, basically more going on for everyone. Another big thing that we can add is increased safety and customer service at the park. Last meeting I talked about the park resource officer working with the Delhi PD to offer more customer service, more safety, more security, especially in the evenings and the weekends, and also allow us, the Parks Department, to get out of the general fund, to not be subsidized. On this page, I broke down, if we were to move forward with recommendations, what the added cost would be. So our total expense, additional expenses, broken down each year. So you can see that top line from 2017 through 2021. You can see what the total additional expenses would be with a 5-year total and a 5-year average. Under that, we have 3 different categories, or 3 different line items that would be increases to the expense. The first being the park resource officer, the second being the special event and program coordinator, and the third being a programmer for the senior center. You can see each year, then the 5-year total and the 5-year average for each one. The 3 line items underneath that, Floral Paradise Gardens, Community and Garden, Park Authority, and Shared Services, would be decreases to the expense. We're looking at possibly using parts of Floral Paradise as a community garden, which would reduce personnel, supply cost. With the introduction of the park resource officer, we wouldn't need a park authority. That would take the place of it. And then just reallocating some of our personnel costs to shared services based on what they've been doing for the whole township. So you can see the expense subtotal is not very much for what we'd like to add. This goes over the revenue recommendations. You'll see that based on the recommendations, about $7,000 increase each year. Once again, this is broken down. Ball fields, introducing fees next year. Fishing, allowing people to fish at the Clearview Lake on a limited but year-round. And then additional programming with the expansion of the special event and program coordinator position, allowing there to be more programs, in return adding more revenue or bringing in more revenue from additional programming and special events. And then, like we said with the seniors, being able to help them offset the cost, there will be a reduction because we would not be charging them rent. So the subtotal for the revenue would be about $7,000 a year. Take that into account with the recommendations of the expense. You can see that the 5 years, 2017 to 2021, it's really not that much more per year to do everything that we'd like to do. A 5-year total of about $175,000, only about $35,000 more per year. Based off the recommendations that we've discussed, we kind of came up with 3 options as far as looking at a park levy and the millage options. One would be the status quo, which we said would get us out of the general fund, but we would operate just as we do today. There'd be no changes, there'd be no increases, anything. It'd just be in order for the parks to operate on its own. The second millage is the recommend changes, pretty much taking care of everything that we discussed: more safety, more security, more programming, helping out the senior center, offering more programming there, more special events, and that would be about a 0.49 millage. The third one we put together was what we're calling it comprehensive. It allows us more flexibility. It allows us to take that programming and special events maybe to the next level, make small improvements, and it adds a little bit of value. As far as I think people's,
Right.
I thought you were going to add something. Sorry.
Well, the only thing I was going to say was the value of that comprehensive is until we do a resolution asking for the millage certification amount, we don't know if the value for one mill is 450, 430, whatever. So 0.59, we're thinking, okay, that'd be worst case scenario if the millage came back and it was, $420,000 per mill, which would be very low. That would increase the millage to still meet the same dollar amount. So that's kind of the worst case scenario if we had to go to something like a 0.59.
As far as time frame, we could ready a resolution for April 27th meeting, requesting millage amounts from Hamilton County Auditor's Office, which in turn would help us find the exact millage that we need, the numbers that we need. We expect that to come back to us within 30 days, probably even a week. Once those numbers are received from the Auditor's Office, we'll have a better idea of what the cost per $100,000 household would be. At the most, we're thinking $25, but we think it's going to come in less than that. After that, approved ballot language on the May 25th meeting, organize and spend the summer getting the word out to Delhi residents, educating them about the Parks Department and the levy itself.
And what we would do is, what we're recommending is for us to prepare the 0.4, the 0.49, and the 0.59 to send on April 27th to pass a resolution to have the auditor give us the results of those 3. Then what we would do, hopefully, Dusty's office has been really great at quickly getting these numbers back to us, that we could then do a follow-up report with the real results of what's that equal. Then we can go from there discussing, okay, what is the board's pleasure as far as moving forward, or is it a different? If it comes back totally different, we're estimating 450,000. If it comes back something, way off of where we are, we can always do another resolution. That's the whole good thing, is that we're not up against a rock and a hard spot as far as time wise. We do have some time, so that if it does come back something way different, we can yet send another resolution to Dusty saying, please tell us what point whatever is, and when we get that back. Because whatever it is, if the board wants that number to be, and the whole thing is, once we get one of these, we know exactly what the numbers are. But you have to have a certified copy of that millage in order to put it on the ballot. So it's not that we can't tell you what a .4753249 is, because you can just do the math and divide to get the number. But you have to have a certified auditor's copy to put it on the ballot at that rate. So we have some time, but we're recommending at this point in time .40, .49, .59 to have that ready on April 27th for the board just to pass those, so we can basically say, hey, to the auditor's office, please give us these amounts. We'll come right back to the board and say, here's the results of those amounts, and we're recommending this. What's, does the board like one of those or wants another number? And we can go from there. But it's good timing in the aspect that if we can, if the board's pleasure to put this on the ballot and to move forward with it, it is a good timing, because all the concerts in the parks, all the bicentennial events, all the things are going to be happening this summer. And we hope that, it is because it's special bicentennial that we're having these, but it doesn't have to mean those have to go away, meaning having more concerts and parks and activities. So, after 2017, hoping that we still could have 3 or 4 concerts in the park, because right now with the status quo, there's 0 concerts in the park. The only reason why there's happening this year is because the board budgeted for 1 as part of the bicentennial, and the other groups that are purposefully doing it for the bicentennial. Because I want people to understand that normally these events would not be happening, and it is only
Without the support of the organizations
Yes,
inside the township.
yes.
Yeah, that's a very important point, that the bicentennial is happening because of the support of the organizations in this township. They've really come together as a community to support this, and I think what we can do as residents is show up and enjoy. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Landrum, were you finished?
Yes, like I said, basically we'll be ready the 27th unless there's another number that the board wishes, .40, .49, .59. We can come back with those to go to the auditor just to say what are these, and then we'll give you the results once those return. And then if you want even another number, we can do that, or if we can decide once we get there. But right now, the only decision we need to do in preparation of having Mr. Lane here do the resolutions for us is, does .40, .49, .59, do those make sense to you all? That covers from the status quo to the worst case scenario.
Okay. Questions?
No questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you, Josh. Okay, reading of the resolutions, please, Mr. Luby.
Resolution 2016-40, resolution approving purchase order obligations incurred on behalf of the township by the township administrator, authorizing payment of certain purchase order obligations and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-41, resolution awarding contract to Adlita Inc. in the amount of $1,553,266.45 in connection with the Delhi Township Street Rehabilitation and Repair Project, 2016A, rejecting bids, establishing Huntington Bank as escrow agent, and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution?
I move to dispense with second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 2016-42, resolution authorizing the sale of beer at the 3 summer concerts conducted as part of the bicentennial celebration, imposing requirements and dispensing with the second reading.
I introduce and move the adoption of this resolution.
I second the adoption of this resolution.
Any discussion on this resolution, Mr. Landrum?
Yes, this is The only contract that we've had in the past that provided beer, which was part of the contract, was of course in the skirt game. So the skirt game contract always basically, acknowledge or allows beer sales. So any other event, which we're talking about, these events are specifically bicentennial events that we will be having. Basically, since the park rules say, do not allow for beer sales, this will allow for that. So that's why we're doing this resolution to permit beer sales for these events.
I move to dispense with the second reading.
I second the motion to dispense with the second reading.
All those in favor of the motion to dispense with the second reading?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Luby, please call the roll.
Mrs. Seavey.
Yes.
Mr. Oswald.
Yes.
Mrs. Sturts.
Yes.
Resolution passes. I have no citizens' comments. Mr. Landrum was, okay. Announcement of community events, Mr. Luby?
The Great Parks of Hamilton County public listening sessions will be Thursday, April 14th, 2016, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Will be at the Green Township Nathaniel Green Lodge at 6394 Wesselman Road. Bicentennial celebration, the Delhi Historical Society Family History Scanning Stations will be Thursday, April 14th, 2016, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Bailey Wellness and Fitness Center at 990 Bailey Place Drive, and on Monday, April 25th, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Delhi Senior Community Center at 647 Neeb Road. The Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District Electronic Recycling One-Day Event will be Saturday, April 16th, 2016, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Will be at the Oak Hills High School at 3200 Ebenezer Road. The Delhi Township Annual Cleanup Delhi Day will be Saturday, May 7th, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Will be at the Delhi Senior Community Center at 647 Neeb Road. The Delhi Business Association Annual Document Shredding Event will be Saturday, May 7th, 2016, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at C.O. Harrison School at 585 Neeb Road. The Delhi Township Parks and Recreation Spring and Summer Programs. The spring programs will be from April 12th through May 18th, and summer programs will be June and July, and will be at the Delhi Parks. And other announcements, the Delhi Township Bicentennial Committee is now accepting recipes for a community cookbook through May 27th. Recipe submission forms are available for pickup at Brosey Tours, the Delhi Admin Building, and the Delhi Senior Community Center, or they can be submitted online. More information about the community cookbook and other bicentennial events can be found at the www.delhitownship2016.org. The public is encouraged to participate in the events and programs being offered as part of this year-long community celebration.
Thank you, Mr. Luby. There is no need for executive session this evening, so I'll call to adjourn the meeting. Trustee Oswald?
There be no further business. I motion to adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Next regularly scheduled meeting is Wednesday, April the 27th, again here at 6 p.m. Thanks, everyone.